Hey, welcome back to the channel, my friends. Sorry, it's been a while since I've posted anything. I've made a couple videos, but we had a bunch of issues, so I didn't want to post because I wanted to post a video of this car on the right track. This way, if you guys are watching the video and you guys are doing your own thing, then I can at least inform you of things that I ran into and hopefully things that you don't run into. So the 1.8T motor, I had a 16 valve in here, you guys know, and then I went ahead and decided to do the 1.8T. After putting this in, the harness that I had was from S&P, and that was to do a cable throttle. All right, so instead of doing drive-by-wire, we were going to do this. So that's what we had. Starting it, I didn't have the correct ECU. I had 3 ECUs, which they're right here. As you can see, I have 2 of them there. And they weren't starting even with the stock ECU and another tuned ECU. But it was running with this stage 2 ECU. So, but there's still issues in it because you need to have it tuned. And I'm going to tell you guys where to get your stuff tuned at here in a second. But I decided I didn't want to go this route because we kept running into problems where it would start and I wasn't getting any throttle response off of this. Even when I would try to rub it, it wouldn't rub. The only way I could get the car to stay started was by holding this. I ended up running too rich, burned out a pair of spark plugs. I had to go with another set of spark plugs. Then I kept figuring out, like, what's wrong here, dude? Am I having issues with the fuel pressure regulator? Am I having issues with injectors? I mean, I've even replaced injectors, which I have right here. I did brand new injectors, which I have over there. And then I still had issues. So I ended up having another fuel rail here, laying around from another donor motor, and I used those injectors and I used the fuel pressure regulator, and I got the motor to start. I also had issues with the harness where it was giving me a high voltage input on my, on my O2 sensor and my mass airflow. So we took apart the whole harness, realized that there was a bunch of butt connectors in there, removed that. Had an issue with the map sensor, fixed that, which is right over there, from butt connectors from the harness. And we were like, man, there's got to be something wrong with this harness. So I decided, F that. We've been wasting too much time trying to diagnose all this stuff, knowing that this motor runs. So now we're going to go drive-by-wire. Okay, so this is coming out. We're going drive-by-wire. We're going to replace the crank sensors. Of course, I figured it all out. And now everything's working, but I got to, redo the ECU. But instead of doing all that, I decided, you know what, let me get out of this, cable wire, even though I figured it all out, fixed the harness, fixed everything else, just the ECU needs to be tuned. So I'm going to be selling this on eBay, the cable for it, the ECU, the harness, the crank sensors, the temp sensor that you need to replace right here when you're changing everything. So we got new crank sensors, we got the drive-by-wire throttle body's going in. We have the pedal for it because we got to replace the gas pedal. We got the pedal bracket for it. And we end up getting a brand new harness. So I got it made from TDC Shops. Guys, you need to check out TDC Shops. And David over there, send him an email. He's quick on response. He makes harnesses for all type of swaps. And he tests all his harnesses. He has engines on engine stands. If you check out his Instagram channel. And he tests all his harnesses, and they work 100%, and they're nicely clean, and that's what we're doing. So TDC Shops, good looking out to you, as well as, you can send him your ECU, and he'll tune it for your specs. Either you're going to have a KO4, turbo in it, etc. What injectors you're doing. But I honestly suggest is that you start your 1.8T on a KO3, everything stock, have an ECU for that, get your motor running, drive it around for a little bit. And then if you're going to go, build more power off of that, at least your engine is running healthy before you start, replacing parts, injectors, fuel pumps, this, that, whatever. So I am running an AEM 380 fuel pump in here. That's what I'm running in the back. Of course, that fuel comes in here, regulates, and then it dumps it right back into the tank. I got stock injectors in here. We got a KO4 in here, but we're going to go ahead and replace that with a KO3. So I'm going to put the stock one here so that this motor is completely stock. I am running AC, so we have the S&P radiator here, and of course it's on the right side. Definitely, if you're going to get S&P's radiator with their intercooler, you want to get their intake pipe because it fits perfectly. You can see it comes out of there. You don't got to make your own. And then it locks into the bottom here. The only issues is, it comes with this tubing pipe here that goes into the top of the intercooler to the manifold, but you'll get that in there. I am going to be running AC. So what I did here is I ordered a 2111 condenser, and you could get these on eBay, and they have the ones on eBay where it actually has these adapters and it has its own dryer. And then what you do is you take your AC lines, the ones that are on the car, and you just go to an AC place and they'll cut them, and then they'll adapt them to your new stuff, and then hopefully you can run AC off of your condenser. That's my main goal. I know you're seeing like ground rods here. This is us just grounding stuff, just seeing if we had enough ground everywhere. So those are going to get removed. So tomorrow we're going to be removing the harness out of here, putting in the new one, putting the drive-by, and then everything should work on this car with the new ECU and new plugs. Even though I already ran through 2 sets, and there's nothing wrong with these, but I like to have another set. So everything's new. Once we get the car running and everything, then I'll dump the oil again and put new oil in. So that's the whole thing on this car. Now, if you're running Euro lights on your car, you can't run Euro lights on the grill because the AC condenser is going to be in the way, so your Euro lights won't fit. Because you can see I have the intercooler here from S&P. That's going to be tucked in here. Okay, then you have your radiator up here, and I have a top fill. If you're not going to be running AC, then you should be fine. But for me to get this condenser in here, I had to take these radiator supports and just bend them out so I could have enough clearance in the front. That's what's going on with that. So hopefully by tomorrow, once I replace the harness, the ECU, and start the motor, everything should be fine. We're running a Tectonics downpipe on this with their mid pipe and their exhaust. Good looking out to Colin over there and Randy over at Tectonics for taking care of us with the exhaust. Here's Tectonics right here, and then of course S&P for their for their motor mounts and their their radiator and this, that, and whatever parts that I got from Sal over there, S&P, and then TDC shops for their harness. Of course, TDC shop, go for them for your harness 100%. Don't get them anywhere else. Get them from David. Order it from him. Get your ECU tuned from David. He sends them out to United Motorsports to get them done. So get them done through him. Now, when it comes down to S&P, of course, you're going to order stuff from S&P. There's usually a long wait because there's only one guy over there, and replies back from him take forever, but he'll eventually get to you one way or the other. It might be a month, it might be a 2, but you'll get them. You just got to keep emailing him. So if you order a whole swap thing, do that. If you're not running AC, I mean, you could pretty much order a radiator probably off of eBay Motors, and then just probably get another intercooler. But then you're going to be having troubles trying to figure out how to get all this piping done. So maybe it's best to get these. I know these are out of stock right now from S&P, but I do believe he has mounts and stuff. It's just going to take a while. So if you guys are doing that, just realize, that's going on with that. After I'm done with this build, I know it's taken forever, but I don't work on this every day. Some guys spend every day working on their builds. I mean, we only work on this probably once a week, once every 2 weeks. So it's taken forever for us to get there. And of course, we had a month and a half or 2 just troubleshooting fuel issues, troubleshooting why we had issues with the wire harness, why we had issues with the ECUs, where are the problems coming from, knowing that this motor started, and also not trying to abuse the motor and cranking it over and over. Of course, this whole mess is going to get cleaned up because the whole harness is coming out. So we're going to be removing all that, cleaning all that. We, fixed all our piping here for our radiator. We got to secure all of this. We took the top bottle out. So we're going to be cleaning up a lot of things in here. This car will have air conditioning. It will have heat. The whole motor, we refreshed it with new timing, everything else. So we took care of that. There's also other companies out there like Eurowise that you can order stuff from, but parts are really hard to get these days. So, if you're doing a swap, just be patient and hopefully you know what you're doing. And if you have it in your house, even better, because it's so much easier if something comes up to your mind to just run out there and then just work on it. As far as I go, I'm not at my house. I'm in my workplace. I own my own business here. So I'm running like a business out of here, and I have my toys over here. After we're done with this, I did mention to you guys that we're working on the VR6 swap, which I do have right here. And we did start on it. We did start on this car. And as you can see, I have the VR6 24 valve in here. I had issues trying to find an oil pan, so I'm trying to find a low oil pan. So for right now, we're just going to start it with this. I am going to be running AC on this car. And I have the engine in here because I'm mocking out. But I got to cut the frame support up here. I'm going to cut a square off of it, turn it upside down, re-weld it so that the condenser fits in there. because it's sitting right here so that it fits. And then once I get the radiator from Sal from S&P, then I'll be able to take this bottom support that I got from him and weld it in somewhere, because right now I don't think it's going to clear where the AC compressor is. So that's what we're going to do with that. So right now the engine's in, but we're going to be pulling that out. And I got my mounts from S&P, so all those work perfectly. I'm using a 5-speed transmission on this. This came out of a GLX 2002. We're using a 5-speed transmission out of another Jetta VR6 on a 24 valve to conjunction to work in the GTI. I have a downpipe full exhaust from Tectonics. Again, for this, I'm getting my harness and my ECU done by TDC shops. So I got a box right over there that's going to be shipped out to him tomorrow, so we could get working on this. I ordered a bunch of parts from ECS Tuning, so good looking out to ECS Tuning. You know, like I got the crack pipe right here. I got their water pump from them. I already did the timing on the motor, so we redid the timing chains on this, the 2 timing chains. We did that already. I got a thermostat. I'm waiting for a thermostat housing for him, new belts and stuff like, just to refresh the motor. That motor only has 69,000 miles on that. So I got the exhaust, full exhaust is here. The downpipe was made by them over here. When you do order your exhaust, if you're doing a 24 valve, just make sure your mid pipe that you ask Colin or Randy to add another bong, because you're going to be running 2 O2 sensors on your VR6 swap. If not, you're just going to have to take the mid pipe and just go get a bong welded on there. So I will be running. So what I am going to do is at the Euro lights that I had on this car, I'm going to be running them on the GTI. And then I'm just going to run the 2 headlights on the cabrio once we're done with this. But I'm just trying to make sure that this car is 100% running and nothing's wrong with this. And then it's going to be up for sale. This car is fully original, all original paint, all original interior, brand new top. I mean, this thing's going to be immaculate. Brand new suspension, brand new tires, brand new spindles with center bearings. I mean, we went through everything. And of course, this whole engine bay is going to be clean, because I want this to be a nice daily driver with AC and something that's not going to break down. I should have went with the drive-by-wire at first, but, you know, a friend of mine told me go this route because he had all the parts. And then we ended up running into a million other issues, and then just decided, hey, just go drive-by and we should be fine, you know. So, you know, again, like you can see here in my shop, here's another automatic, another manual. I think it's the O2J transmission here. We have a bunch of 16 valve parts I haven't taken apart here. Of course, don't throw out your parts until your builds are done. Once your builds are done, then go ahead and then take all your parts and sell them, whatever you don't need. But hopefully, once we get this car running this week, I'll make another video of us running it. We got to do a wheel alignment on this. We got to make sure that we're shifting correctly on here to get that going. What else we're going to do? You know, your speedo cables and stuff like that you could get from S&P. There's a bunch of different things that you need. And I'll probably make a video of all the parts that we use when I'm done with the car. Again, with the VR6, it's going to be a challenge. You can actually see the VR6 sitting up there. Looks pretty cool. And I'll give you guys a video. Of course, you know, we have it in there right now. It's got to come out. I got to, you know, cut this section out from the inside, put it back in. And once I get it back in, then that's it. We're going full build on this. I'm just waiting for the radiator from S&P. So Sal, if you're watching the video, please send me the radiator. I need to just get something in here real quick so that I could move forward on this, because we're pretty much done here with this project. And, you know, stay tuned. I'm sorry again, guys, for not posting. I just wanted to just kind of give you a quick update of what's going on. But once I get this harness in, drive-by-wire, change out the crank sensors on here and the thermostat sensor, which I already replaced. I got to change the mass airflow sensor, which I have like 3 of them over there. I got to replace the O2 sensor on this, do the whole harness, the new ECU. We should be ready to rock and roll. Shouldn't have any issues. I don't have any leaks, so I should be good to go. I just got to hook up a couple little things here. The clutch, the what else I got to do? The speedo cable, the AC thing. I'm going to be taking this over to an AC shop. We're just going to get the dryer vent and some stuff hooked up. And what they'll do is they'll cut and attach to the new stuff, fill it up, and then we should be able to run AC on this car and have no issues. So that's where we're at. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. As you can see, there's just a bunch of parts here. This is the grill that we're going to be putting on, that I was going to use on the GTI, but we're going to be running on the cabrio, so to run AC. You know, parts are a problem, man, because you got to keep ordering parts. I mean, there's parts all over the place, but this car will be cleaned up. We try to keep it protected. There are my axles for the VR6. So Sal from S&P, he does sell these. So depending on what transmission you're using, he has the axles for that. So just go get with him. ECS, Tectonics. That's not staying there. I just put that there for fun and games. So we should be ready to rock and roll. A bunch of other little parts here, that things that we're not going to use, that are just laying around, but we don't throw out parts, so we just keep everything there. If you're looking for 16 valve parts, just hit me up on DM. I should have extra parts here for something. If you want the swap for the cable, I do have it all. The only thing that needs to be done is you're gonna have to send out an ECU to get retuned, which I have a blank ECU here, a stock one, and this one is perfect to get it retuned so that it could work. Because after I figured out all the problems, realized that all I needed to do was get this ECU tuned, and I should have been fine. But everything's repaired on this whole kit, and I'm gonna have everything on eBay to sell that out. So if you want to do a 1.8T swap, I have the cable for it. I also have this, which is the right side if you want to go right side on your manifold instead of going left side. So these are hard to find, but I have one of these, which I'll probably be including in the sale. So I'm trying to keep everything here, the cables, the thermostat, and once I pull everything out, so I'm gonna take pictures of it and post it up. But that's where we're at on the video. So if you guys got any questions, just hit me up. I'll try to reply, but I'll definitely be making another video of this thing running this week. And I just want to give you a quick update on what was going on here and why I haven't put out any videos yet. So I apologize for that. If you guys like the video, don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Tell your friends about it. I'm just trying to make a video and do it right and not throw a bunch of mixed information, because a lot of guys that do these swaps, they'll do the swaps and they don't tell you what they ran into, what happened, why it took so long, where they got their parts from, this, that, and whatever. All right, so big shout out to S&P, big shout out to TDC Shop, big shout out to Tectonics, Eurowise if you're getting anything from them, Headrich Parts over in London if you need any parts from them. The list goes on, man. Black Forest, I got parts from Black Forest, I got parts from FCP Euro. Man, there's so many other people out there that are, that I had to sort parts from to make this project happen. And it ain't cheap, guys. So like when you see these cars out on the road, and 1.8T swaps are not cheap. They every little part costs money, and it all adds up. $20 adds up to $2-3 grand real quick. But I hope you like the video, and stay tuned. And the next video I post, you'll be seeing this car running, and then after that, we'll be starting on the VR6 GTI. And I'm gonna run you through every single thing on this. This should be flawless, because this, even though the car is completely gutted, it should be easy to put it back together. I know I'm gonna run into some situations on here, but I pulled that motor out of a running car. So thanks for watching, and keep it up out there in the Volkswagen world. Peace.